It's fair or unfair with the LA Lakers. Coming up in just a second. Anthony Davis is once again down. Mm-hmm. He has what they're saying a strained groin, which if you've ever strained your groin before, it's hard to walk, let alone do anything else. Imagine trying to play basketball on that. It's tough. And he's listed as day to day, as I throw up my little quotes with my claw hands. How exactly do you expect someone to be this athletic to be considered day to day with a growing injury? Hell, LeBron was gone for 20-something games 2 years ago with a growing injury. So because of that, no more Anthony Davis. The Lakers did, of course, get mollywopped by the Suns yesterday, 100-92. As the third and fourth quarter, the Suns really pulled away. Even though Lakers did try to make it close, you could tell that they just didn't have the weapons to it, especially with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope also out. Mm-hmm. So now we have to ask the question, Jimmy, is it fair or unfair to say that Anthony Davis will cost the Lakers a chance at a ring?
I'm going to go with fair.
Ooh.
It is fair that, let's say he's not able to come back from this growing injury because it's of the severity as to what the LeBron James injury was. Now, granted, AD is still in his 20s. LeBron was in his mid-30s when that happened.
Correct.
Which should make Lakers fans feel somewhat optimistic that he can come back, to this. I think he's done for the series. What the Lakers have said is that it's possible that if this series goes to 6 or 7 games, that he might, in fact, be able to come back. But I don't think he can, because even if he could, you would have to, on the possibilities of making it further into the playoffs, you would have to, I guess in a sense, bubble wrap him more than you want to and hold him out as long as possible. But yes, he's going to cost him a ring. He's not going to cost him this series. I don't believe he's going to cost him the next series if they make it to Denver or Portland. But after that, whether you're facing Utah or the Clippers, he will cost him that series and in a sense cost him a ring. So yes, AD has cost the Lakers a chance at making it to the finals and therefore winning one.
Yeah, I'm actually on the same boat, which I'm kind of surprised that you gave.
So you thought I would say is not fair.
I thought you would say it was unfair to really blame it and put it all on his shoulders when it's supposed to be LeBron's team. But I'm with you on that. It would be fair to say that Anthony Davis will be the reason why they don't win a championship, because this team is built around two players, LeBron and Anthony Davis. You can tell it's built around LeBron and Anthony Davis because when LeBron or Anthony Davis is not on the court, the team goes to muck. It basically falls off the cliff. I saw someone that posted some plus minuses about what the team looks like with them on and off the court. Lost them in prepping for the show. But the point is that it's bad. It's bad when neither one of them are on the court. And that is typically when teams start to pull away. And then, of course, when LeBron AD comes back in, they push it closer, maybe take a lead. They come out the game. It stretches out. The thing is they're human. There's nothing about them that are superheroes or anything like that. The human body has its limits. And the reason why I really agree with your notion on Anthony Davis potentially costing them, that being fair to say that, is Anthony Davis has been hurt the last, actually his entire career. Pretty much. But at least the last 5 years, yes. It's not been good. I mean, he's going from the calf injury, the strained, the Achilles situation, we got the growing now. It's just as you go down, knee, you go down the list, Anthony Davis has always had something that's happened. And as much as we would like to put him in bubble wrap, you can't. And he's also a player that falls down a lot. You talked about this a long time ago on the show about how Anthony Davis hits the ground so much.
He did it again yesterday.
He did.
Who falls like that?
He does. That's the Anthony Davis thing, is that he hits the ground a lot. And because of that, that's the thing that's going to really shorten his career. Yes, he's 28 years old, but he's also 6'10", a 6'10" point guard that's still not used to the fact that he's 6'10" and not 6'2". He falls like he's 6'2". And he falls like he's a Ja Morant or Allen Iverson or Dwayne Wade even. And Dwayne Wade's almost 6'5". Because he's hitting the ground so much, this is going to be the thing that's going to not only shorten his career, but I do see it as shortening up their chance for a championship.
But at the same time, I don't think all optimism is lost for the Lakers. I'll give you an example. This is a Kanye West example. All right. So years ago,
pre-Kim or post-Kim?
pre-Kim.
Okay.
Kanye West did a show here in Oklahoma City where we broadcast out of. And one of the opening acts for that show was supposed to be Lupe Fiasco. But for whatever reason, he wasn't able to do the show. I never exactly knew why. And then the word was out of that, Kanye West was perfectly fine with it because he said, okay, great. I can do more of my songs now.
I can be more me.
So LeBron James, after this, he said, and I quote, on being without Anthony Davis for probably the next game and beyond that, said, these shoulders were built for this. So essentially what he's saying is that I'm built to be able to take up part of the slack that is going to be there because Anthony Davis isn't going to be there. Okay. So in order for them to at least get past this series and the formula moving forward until and if Anthony Davis is able to come back is this. It's one of two formulas. Either LeBron James, neither of which is exactly likely, but it's possible. LeBron James has to average at least a 20-point triple-double. You got to get 20 points from Kyle Kuzma on average, and you got to get 10 points and 7 rebounds on average from Montrezl Harrell. That's 30 and 7. That's about what you would have gotten from Anthony Davis, or at least around what he had these last few games. I know he had more rebounds and just his impact on the court in terms of what it forces the defense to do and how it forces them to scheme. You're still going to be missing that because they don't fear Kuzma and Montrezl like they're going to fear Anthony Davis. So if that doesn't happen, that's one scenario. The second scenario is Bron has to average a 30 to 40 point triple double if you're getting half of those averages I gave you from Kuzma or Harrell. So if you're only getting 10 from Kuzma or you're only getting 5 from Harrell, then LeBron James has to make up that slack in order to already make up for the slack being without Anthony Davis. So if they do that, if Kyle Kuzma is going to be in the starting lineup, most likely, and Montrezl Harrell step up and maintain those averages, they can get past Phoenix, and I believe they can beat Portland and Denver without that. But if they don't get Anthony Davis back by the Western Conference Finals against the Clippers, you're going to lose. If they don't get him against the Utah Jazz in the Western Conference Finals, you're going to lose. So there's the optimism right there. And GM LeBron had to have seen this coming. So this is the reason why you go out and get Trez. This is the reason why you get Dennis Schroeder. This is the reason why you get Andre Drummond, because you knew that this was going to happen. Now that it has happened, put your plan in action, and they still need to win this series in order to justify everything that they did in preparation for Anthony Davis not being there.
So LeBron, yes, he did state, and I quote, these shoulders were built for this. Mm-hmm. And I believe this is more of a past tense piece out of LeBron. He ain't built for today's shoulders. LeBron's shoulders is different today than they were before. Remember, LeBron had this ankle injury, and it seemed like he was not trying to go to the goal for most of this series to start because of that ankle. Uh-huh. Now he's going to shoulder more of the load. I don't think that's a good thing for him in the pursuit for the championship. This is why. I believe that, and Nick Wright mentioned this, that they needed Anthony Davis for specific series. This is the series they need him for. Mm-hmm. They need Anthony Davis for this series so that LeBron can coast into the second round. And then he can play around at about half speed in the second round and then go into the third round, 3/4 speed in the third round, and then hit the finals. He can go full speed LeBron to try to win the championship. Right. Because LeBron James is also 36 years old. And I will repeat myself. There are limits to the human body. Mm-hmm. And because there are limits to the human body, LeBron needs somebody else to step up to get him to the end of it because he has so many miles on his body, regardless of how many millions he's paid to take care of his body. There are limits to the human body unless you become a cyborg. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that that's physically possible or legally possible.
I see what you're saying. It reminds me of Logan. Remember at the end before the big fight in the woods where he took all of that serum. He's only supposed to take part of it. He took it all. So then he's coming out there. He's Logan. And then halfway through the fight.
Looking like me halfway through my run, like half a mile, and then get to the half a mile and just like
had absolutely nothing left. So that's part of what you're saying. But even if that's the case, he still has to find a way because this is one of those GOAT situations. Now, I've evolved to believe in the NBA that there is not a single GOAT. There is a GOAT for each era. But LeBron James still believes that he can be the greatest of all time, the undisputed GOAT. So if he's going to be that, in this particular series with what he's facing right now, he has to win this series because MJ, in the same circumstances, is not losing this series. Kobe is not losing this series. Magic Johnson is not losing this series. Therefore, LeBron James, if he wants to be on that Mount Rushmore or surpass them, he has got to win this series.
That's our assumption. We are assuming that.
What are we assuming, though?
We're assuming that MJ would not lose this series.
He wouldn't.
We are assuming because Jordan's never had a teammate as critical as Anthony Davis ever be injured and actually down in a series.
True.
Ever.
So then we're extrapolating from what we know and what we saw of MJ. If he were in this exact same series in LeBron James' position,
he would lose.
You feel like MJ would lose this series?
Yes.
There is no way MJ loses this
series.
He
lost the series. It's all the way up until Scottie Pippen got good.
Facts. But
so that's my point.
He's not losing this series.
You say that. Well, I'll let you think that. So we'll move on to the next part.
All right.